You guys, seriously. Hey everybody, welcome to the Hamakua Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany and today we are baking bread. I got today's video idea from a viewer that had asked to see a recipe for whole wheat sourdough sandwich bread. So I got to Googling and goggling and came up with this recipe. I didn't come up with the recipe, it's somebody else's recipe. It's linked down below. This process is going to take a full 2 days. Of course, it's not all active hands-on time, but make sure you get your timing correct. Otherwise, you might end up overproofing or you might end up baking your bread in the middle of the night. Who knows? We are starting off with our sourdough starter that is not fed whole wheat. I usually feed mine regular all-purpose flour. So I started off the process with just feeding my sourdough as I usually do, with a 1-1-1 ratio. 1 part sourdough, 1 part flour, and 1 part water. These days, for functionality, I have been using 200 grams of each, and that usually makes sure that I have enough to do a recipe and enough to feed my sourdough for the following day. After your sourdough is bubbly and super active, but right before it starts to fall back down, now we're going to go ahead and mix together our ingredients for our bread. In a large bowl, put 1.5 cups of filtered water, 1/2 cup of honey, and 1 cup of active bubbly starter. Half a cup of melted coconut oil. We're going to put in at this time half of the flour. This whole recipe calls for 6 cups, so we're going to start with putting in 3. Give it a good mix and add your 1 tablespoon of salt. Then you can add your other 3 cups of your whole wheat flour. Combine the dough thoroughly for about 5 minutes. Then just cover it up and walk away for about 20 minutes. In this process, the flour is going to absorb all the moisture from the other ingredients. After your 20 minutes is up, go ahead and start your stretch and fold process. Take your dough from one side and take it from the bottom and fold it over the top. Turn your bowl 1/4 of the way and do the same thing. Do this a total of 4 times so it makes a circle. For this particular recipe, we are going to do a stretch and fold 3 times 15 minutes apart. Then we're going to switch it over to every half an hour, and we're going to do it another 3 or 4 times. Now you can go ahead and just cover it up and let it sit overnight. Now with the timing on this, I did differentiate slightly from what the recipe calls for. What I ended up doing was first thing the next morning, I split it into 2. Shaped my dough. And put it into a buttered pan. At this time, you can go ahead and put it in the fridge overnight, or you can leave it out just for the day and let it rise at room temperature. In this case, I chose to let it sit out all day and ferment at room temperature. We're going to bake this at 400 degrees for 20 minutes with the lid on and then 20 minutes with the lid off. I'm pleasantly surprised. I thought that we were going to end up with something really, really dense and crazy. Honestly, I was really getting to the point where I didn't even know if I was going to post this video because I'm happy. I'm happy. It's so soft and luscious. So good. You guys, seriously. It's not hollow like an artesian bread. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it. Woo, woo, woo. I'm excited. We have to let it cool for a little while before we cut it open though. But do we? Do we? Hot. Hot. You know what? I don't want to wait. I want to see this steamy loaf right now. Get ready for your close-up. Fix your hair. It's close-up. I don't eat bread, but this is sourdough. I'm gonna take one bite, put some butter on it. I'm too excited that this actually turned out. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I cannot lie. It's delicious. I've got to go take this to my sweetheart. In all seriousness, I was afraid all day yesterday and all day today that we were gonna end up with one solid brick of whole wheat. That is not the case. Half a loaf is gone already before I'm even able to close out this video. It is a big hit and got approval from 3 different men in this house. So I would definitely call that a big time winner in my book. I will have the recipe that I went off of today linked in the description box down below. That way you guys can get started on making your whole wheat just as I did today. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Hamakua Homestead. I'll see you again soon. Doo-doo.